statement win for the Blue Bombers. My goodness, 40-3 dismantling of 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨 and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Good gracious, what a huge win for Winnipeg to move to above 500 once again this season. Welcome everybody inside Game Day After Dark. This is your live Blue Bombers postgame show. We got tons of video highlights to get to help you relive the game you just witnessed, whether it was in person or you were watching on TSN. We're going to get into it all. My name is Darrin Bauming. We'll be joined by Schnitzy, our post-game friend, your good friend and mine, Zach Schnitzer, a little bit later, and dissect all of this. I hate to say I told you so. I hate to say it, but I said it on the pregame. I said it on Game Day Winnipeg. I said it last week. If Zach Collaros comes back and plays the way he has been playing in the Labor Day Classic and the Banjo Bowl prior to that hit injury he sustained, Winnipeg can make a run. Winnipeg can be not just a playoff team. Winnipeg can be a team that is dangerous. They can be a tough out. And while the Hamilton Tiger Cats are not exactly world beaters right now, they are first place in the East for the time being. They are the best road team in the CFL, at least prior to this afternoon's loss. But they've struggled against the West. Great to see everybody in the live chat. Waiters is on the bus. Blue and Goldens, say it, DB, say it. Yes, I will. Twig and Berries in the live chat. Absolutely dominant. Eric Horlifson. Hey, DB. Hey, how are you, Eric? Good to see you. Alana, my goodness, what a difference with Zach Collaros back. No doubt about that. T Winnipeg 204. Huge W. Our good friend Robert Campbell looked like a Bomber team of the past 5 years. What a difference having your QB1 healthy and playing. By next week, damn, this team may have a shot. It's precisely that. They just might have a shot. You can't count this team out because of the way they're coached, and not just like, oh, yeah, okay, you know, Jordan Younger's done a great job with the defense, or like the play calling from Jason Hogan and Jarius Jackson today. Oh, you know, Mike 𝘎𝙤𝙤 made some right decisions. I'm talking about how they're coached on a Tuesday afternoon, on a Thursday night, on a Sunday after a Saturday game when they're breaking down the film inside the Blue Bombers facilities, when they're out having dinner, when it's the end of the year or the beginning of training camp. That message, that culture that has been instilled by head coach Mike 𝘎𝙤𝙤 for over a decade now. Doesn't matter what the last play was. It doesn't matter what the score is in a game. It doesn't matter what your record is. The old cliche, try to get to 1-0 this week. It doesn't matter where you are in the standings. If you have a chance to go out and play football today, you go out and you play it to the best of your ability. You go out and play with that singular focus of what lies ahead. It's the only way to find success. Everybody has bad days. Everybody has bad weeks, bad years. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody fails. But the only way you persevere is to snap and clear, as Zach Collaros once said. It's to flush it and move on. It's to completely ignore what has happened in the past and focus on the future. And I'm sure all you guys out there in the live chat, great to see you all. It's like, oh, okay, DB, calm it down a bit. Curb the hyperbole. Curb the exaggeration. I get it. But from the fans I've spoken to this year who say Collaros ain't got it anymore, he's still got it. 367 yards passing today. Well, the defense, they just don't have the horses. Well, they held Bo Levi to 212 yards passing and Greg Bell to 88 yards on the ground and 3 points. They were a crossbar away from pitching a shutout today. The special teams, the turnovers, the coaching, the window with the Grey Cup in town, it's over. The Bombers are a bad football team. That's what I've been hearing for weeks, for months. You can't just put a pin on this football club. You can't. They showed it last year with their poor start, getting to a 5th straight Grey Cup. They showed it back in 2019 when they rode the wave of emotion with everything going on with Andrew Harris, with everything going on with Chris Streveler needing to start week one, a true rookie out of college in the States who had never played a down of Canadian football in his life, to, persevering through an injury again later in the year to Matt Nichols, to finding Zach Collaros on the trade market and rolling with him to the first championship this market has seen in 29 years. This team has what it takes. It has the horses. It has the coaching. It has the mentality. That's what I'm trying to say. It has the mentality to win a championship. Do I think they're going to win the Grey Cup? I'm not going that far. Oh no. I'm simply speaking to the overwhelming sentiment that I've heard personally in talking to fans across the city, on social media, online, that this season is done, that the team bobbled and fumbled and stumbled in a Grey Cup hosting year. This season is not over. No lead is safe in the CFL. From quarter to quarter, from week to week, from month to month, no lead is safe in the standings. The Bombers improved to 8-7 with a win tonight. We're going to get into Walby's Warrior. We'll get into Westwood wide to the right. We'll have your happy honker, hand out some game balls. Would love to know your bonfire burning point. And I know people love to, you fire starters out there love to say, wow, the opening kickoff. Bombers were dominant, 40-3 win today. What was your actual bonfire burning point? The moment in this game that just was the tipping point, the burning point, the point of water boiling, where you knew Winnipeg was going to win, that the path to victory was clear and direct. Russ Lowen, good to see you in the live chat. Not sure if I've seen you before. Welcome. Fun time, says Russ Lowen. Jay Miller, is the parade back on? Not quite yet. Not quite yet, but I think people aren't, putting their bags of confetti into the back of the closet yet. Brayson Zerbin, good to see you, Brayson. Big Bengals fan. Love Joe Burrow. Myself. Houston has been so good. He's locked it down. I got lots of video highlights to get to of the job Winnipeg's pass defense did. There'll be some fans out there that will say, Winnipeg's defensive line didn't get enough pressure. And yeah, James Vaughters had a sack, but no. Sometimes good defense doesn't include sacking the quarterback or pressuring the quarterback. Winnipeg has played a very passive defense, and pardon the pun, but it's a pass defense. Bo was given, quote unquote, lots of time, but it's also called coverage defense. Like a coverage sack is you give that quarterback so much time, that pocket eventually breaks down. Winnipeg did a great job defensively today on the back end. Okay. Bo had all day, and Bo had all day long to make things happen. And in the end, Winnipeg's pass defense just stood in there and gave him nothing to work with. Absolutely nothing to work with. Here was a turnover on downs late in the game. 2nd and 5 from the Winnipeg 11-yard line. Now 3rd and 5 from the Winnipeg 11-yard line. Winnipeg, huge credit to Dexter Lawson Jr. I've been a critic of his this season. I've called him a rookie, which he is not. He played for the Ticats the last couple of years, but this is the first time he's been a full-time starter. Big credit to him, to Evan Holm, Dietrich Nichols, and Demario Houston, Cam Allen too at safety, who all had huge influence on keeping Kenny Lawler in check, keeping Keandre Smith in check, keeping Shamar Bridges in check, Brennan O'Leary Orange. Winnipeg's defense made it a busy pocket for Bo Levi. I wouldn't say it was a stressed pocket, but it was enough stress. And I'm just blown away with the back end of the D. I'm blown away by it. It's been so good. So very good. My guy, you guys who've watched Bonfire Sports for a long time, I've been singing the praises of number one Dietrich Nichols for years. Okay. But I got to do it again. This pass breakup he had in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, 2nd and 4, huge moment of the game with lots to play, 19 and a half minutes still to play, and it being effectively a 3-score game. Hamilton needs to at least get into field goal range. They need something here. And there's Dietrich. Like, that would have been a catch if he didn't get there. I'm more focused on the tackle he made right at the first down marker to keep it. Like, even if that catch was made, this would not have been a first down conversion on 2nd and 4. There's the catch. And he's right there, both wrapping up and getting a hand to rip that ball out. Dietrich is an absolute stud. An absolute stud. Huge game for him, for Holm, and all of those DBs I talked about. Let's bring in our good friend, Zach Schnitzer. What's going on, Schnitzy? I'll get my camera straightened out here. Huge win for the Bombers. We were just kind of breaking down the defense. Good to see you in the chain. How was the atmosphere at a, what was it, 13th straight sellout at Princess Auto Stadium?
Incredible, buddy. I mean, this was the team we were looking for. We got the chain. We got the win.
Yeah, bro.
We're over 500. Solidly in third place. Looking maybe at second, baby. Just an unbelievable performance by all three phases of the team, Darrin. Offense, defense, special teams. Opens up with a bang with the Vavel touchdown, and they just didn't look back from there, buddy. And I was saying to people before the game, if this team can limit the turnover battle, limit the turnovers, win the turnover battle, they could beat anybody in the CFL. But I didn't think they would lay the absolute boots to the best team in the East Division in Hamilton, Darrin. A 40-3 absolute spanking of the Cats. They tamed the Cats. They send them home with the tail between their legs. Let's go.
Oh, Schnitzy's fired up. Man, you bring such great energy to this post-game show. I love it. You, the live chat, everybody, hit that thumbs up if you haven't there. If you haven't yet, hit that up right now. Randall D says, Tycat Radio said blue complete beatdown, laser focused, bully ball in front of the most intimidating fans in the country. Yeah, no doubt about that. Wesley was in your row, Schnitzy.
Oh, yeah. I didn't.
There you go.
What?
Yeah.
Wesley was in my row?
Yeah.
What? Give me more details. I don't know if I saw you.
Got to send you a DM or something to let you know.
What?
12th straight sellout. It was at Princess Auto Stadium tonight. Orange shirt day. I know you got yours on underneath your jersey there, Schnitzy. But great to see, everybody in the Blue Bombers organization doing what they do for Truth and Reconciliation Day. That's coming up on Tuesday, I do believe. Your co-host on the Bombers Report on Winnipeg Sports Talk, Connor 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙯. Are the Bombers back? I think so. As your kitty cat gives us a little cameo with a tickle across.
Come on, sweetheart.
Hey, I think it honestly brings a little color to.
Okay. Well, she is a tortie, so she has lots of colors.
Okay.
No, I think that is the question. Oh yes, Wesley. Yes, I saw you in my father-in-law's section. Right. I was so distracted by my son. At one point, we were playing catch in the concourse because he got a little bored. But we knocked over a guy's beer. But that's why you shouldn't play catch up there.
Hey, if you're little guy,
Glynis, shout out to Glynis. Shout out to Glynis. Lost in her family recently. Love you, Glynis. Sending hugs from all of us at Bonfire. Yeah, just an incredible game, Darrin, and I love what the Bombers did for Truth and Reconciliation. But Connor asked the big question: are the Bombers back?
Yeah,
and I don't want to overstate how big this game is. Like, it's one game, right? But here they are, Calgary faltering. They're going into the bye. This is the kind of game the Bombers used to deliver on a game-to-game basis. 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. They would beat the living tar out of teams.
Look,
That like other it would be over by halftime.
They went toe to toe with the Rough Riders on
Yeah.
Labor Day. They lose their starting quarterback in the Banjo Bowl and lose both of those games. People thought the season was written off. I started the show, almost started the show by saying, I told you so. I've been saying it for weeks and months.
You have.
If Collaros plays the way he can, if he plays the way he can, this team can make noise. This team can win in the playoffs. And yeah, here's a Chris Streveler play. No, I'm not trying to troll you guys out there. But the team was creative on offense too, which I really liked. But Zach Collaros played a heck of a great football game. Some of the passes to, I think it was this one, Schnitzy. Pardon me if I pull this up here. This one to 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙯 early in the game was a very impressive one. As he drops it in there, the Blue Bombers love that route, that inside slot, kind of getting to the second level and then cutting it towards the post. I think we'll get a replay of this one here. 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙯 coming back just in time after Ontario Wilson sustains that injury following that hit from Adarius Pickett of Ottawa last week. But perfect ball from Zach Collaros. Mm-hmm. Perfect ball there that they were able to, complete there. And then how about this? Okay. We'll talk more about Zach Collaros as the night goes on, no doubt about it. But this pass, hello, Dylan Mitchell, his first impact play of being a Winnipeg Blue Bomber is a 44-yard touchdown. And this Zach Collaros throw was incredible. Razor sharp margin. Okay.
Yeah.
Tiny window, laser pinpoint accuracy from the Blue Bombers quarterback. Dime drop to where only Dylan Mitchell can catch it. And he pulls it in for the Bombers' second touchdown of the game, the first on offense, to make it 13-0. As of course, Trey Valville returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Look at that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh,
and the coverage is right on him, right?
𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙯 is nobody to slouch at. Like, he's no slouch. No. And there's Dylan Mitchell, for all the haters out there that have been criticizing him,
including me. I went on Twitter, I asked Mark Steven of the Calgary Stampeders. I asked who covers the Stampeders. I said, "Does Cam Eccles play in the slot? Because with we fallout, maybe you think of putting a guy like Cam Eccles, who's apparently looked good in practice, and because Dylan Mitchell's done nothing, but if you would have told me that Dylan Mitchell would have outgained Kenny Lawler." That was the story of this season. Oh, we let Kenny Lawler go, and Kenny Lawler was throwing some serious shade with Taylor Allen's, your co-host last night, his article from the Free Press about Kenny Lawler. Threw some serious shade on Winnipeg. He was the leading receiver when the Bombers played the Ticats a couple weeks ago, Darrin. He had 97 yards. He was targeted tonight. They were trying to feed him the ball. Nine attempts at Lawler. He catches 2 for 34. Bombers defense was all over him. And Dylan Mitchell comes through with a touchdown. He comes through with how many? 67 yards, 3 catches on 3 targets for 67 yards, including that dime from Collaros for 44 yards for the touchdown. Incredible.
It was really something. Zach Collaros is back.
Yep.
Like, the way that he managed things, this play right here, okay? This play came back because of penalty, right?
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
But it was a double penalty on the play. The Bombers, Hamilton was offside.
Yeah.
Collaros knew it was a free play. Winnipeg ended up getting holding after the catch. We'll see it here in a second. But Collaros knew this was a free play. When I was watching it live, I was like, what is he doing? Why is he throwing that ball? And then I realized, okay, there's the flag. Free play. This is a risky throw, but it was a throwaway play. It was a toss away play. And Collaros, so heady, so smart. Let's give it a shot. We'll see a replay here in a second.
Let's see it. Let's see it again.
Here, I'll just jump it ahead. So the pressure is coming on Collaros, and it's like, oh shit. Okay, throw it away. No, I'm just gonna loft it over the pass rush, and Brady catches it over his head. Like, that's a hard ball to catch because it's coming over his head from the back.
Well said. That was a really hard catch.
And Winnipeg ended up netting yards on this play, I do believe, after the penalties. It led to, let's jump ahead here. Here's a look at it. And the penalty, I think it was Ontario Wilson. I'll correct myself. I said earlier that it was Ontario Wilson who got hit by a Darius Pickett in Ottawa last week and didn't play. It was Carrick Wheatfall, of course. Ontario Wilson, not injured, was in this game. That was his penalty there. But this led to a Chris Streveler 1-yard punch in for a touchdown, capped a 7-play, 94-yard drive for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And at this point in the game, Winnipeg going up 25-3. You'll see here in just a moment, there's a 16-yard chunk to Kevin Sklercius, or pardon me, Nick Dembski, not 17, 13. Anyway, doesn't matter. They continue to move the chains. Really impressive drive here. And it was one of a whole bunch. Yeah, Dembski for 13. And then the next play, Dembski, like, man, huge game for him too. Yeah. Everybody came out. This one here is a 56-yard catch and run for Ontario Wilson, right down to the 1-yard line. And again, I'll maybe highlight the arm of Zach Collaros. Don't tell me he's 37 and he's too old. Don't tell me Zach Collaros doesn't have the arm anymore. Give your head a shake. Watch this guy cook. It's in the wrist. When I say it's in the wrist, I mean he's cooking. He's whisking the bowl. It's in the wrist. Like, Zach Collaros put the league back on notice. Don't sleep on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Don't sleep on the Bombers.
No, absolutely, Darrin.
Look, I even cautioned. I don't want to get hyperbolic. I don't want to get exaggerative. I'm just trying to dispel the common notion around Blue Bombers Nation right now, or over the last several weeks and months, that this team sucks. This team's playing bad football. Like, yeah, they had been playing bad football, but don't tell me the year is over. No lead is safe in the CFL standings, and Bombers at 8-7. Like, some people in the live chat saying, well, they should tank for fourth and get no tanking.
Absolutely not.
No.
This team could get a home playoff game, Darrin.
Who's in first place in the West right now? I ask rhetorically. Who's in first place?
Right.
It's the Saskatchewan Roughriders, a team that Winnipeg almost beat in Regina.
Yeah.
This team can make some noise, boy. This team can make some noise.
They had no turnovers tonight, Darrin. I didn't even see a ball Collaros threw that was even in danger of being intercepted. That's exactly what we needed from Collaros. And of course, it's not all on Collaros. It's the receivers. It's the O-line. By the way, we'll talk about the O-line because
let's take a look at the stats here.
But yeah, I mean, Collaros is 80% completion percentage, 20 of 25 for 367 yards and a touchdown. An efficiency rating of 143.3. I mean, you don't get much better than that, Darrin.
What?
A couple of balls he threw away when he rolled out of the pocket and under
Winnipeg
pressure,
was
like
14 of 18 on second down.
Yeah, that's
like
insane.
80% on second down. It was nuts. 48 plays on offense to 61 for Hamilton, and they scored 3 points. Nearly scored none. They averaged a first down per play. They put together 514 yards of net offense. That's not offense. That's net offense after penalty and everything. Winnipeg punted the ball once. And they didn't do it with a ton of huge Brady Oliveira runs. They did it with a healthy dose of Zach Collaros and finding guys, those nice little pockets of space so they can go make things happen with yak yards after the catch. 5 touchdowns for Winnipeg. Pretty clean game. 5 penalties for 44 yards. I mean, Hamilton had a pretty clean game too, with 4 penalties for 38 yards, but no turnovers. And it still didn't even matter. Like, Hamilton played a pretty clean game as well. But they didn't have to rely on field goals. Time of possession was even because Winnipeg just was tidy with their work, right? Just tidy with their work. But this is the story of the game. The story of the game is Zach Collaros throwing for 367 yards, going 80%, having a QB efficiency rating of near perfection. There's your perfect 158.3.
Stravler, that's right. Perfect quarterback, Chris Stravler.
Good on you. Trick play, of course, on 2nd and inches, but 143.3. And Brady, healthy game, 6.5 yard average, 98 yards rushing. And look at all of the guys that contributed. Everybody who caught a pass caught a second down and converted it to a first down. Stearns, not a ton of volume, but 2 catches for 33 yards and made important catches when it mattered. Dylan Mitchell with his first touchdown as a Bomber. Ontario Wilson, 97 yards, including 51 after the catch on that play we just watched. Brady in the check down game was excellent. And Nick Dembski, I think right now Nick Dembski is Winnipeg's most outstanding Canadian in 2025.
I think he's right up there, man. I absolutely think he is right up there. I mean, the last time I checked, let's even in the PFF stats, like Dembski is one of the best receivers in the CFL. I mean, he's among starting receivers. He has the 3rd highest grade in PFF, highest of any Canadian by far. He's absolutely a stud this year. He's right up there in the top 5 of receiving, I believe, the last time I checked, Darrin. He was asked to be the number 1 receiver on this team when Schoen went down for weeks and weeks, and he's delivered, man. The only time he hasn't delivered was, I think, the 2nd game of the year against BC. In BC, he had 1 yard, and then last week he didn't register a catch, but that wasn't on Dembski. That was Hogan saying, Stravler, don't throw the ball, please. Just don't turn the ball over. Our defense and special teams can win us this game. But, I mean, what a stark difference, juxtaposition. 3 of 8 last week for Stravler for 54 yards and a pick, and Zach Collaros throws for what was it, Darrin? 370? 367.
Yeah.
80%. This is a throwing league. You started the show last week by saying they don't ask how, they ask how many, but you do have to ask how, because in some cases, right? Because winning on the backs of special teams and defense just isn't sustainable for the Bombers. They've done it twice this year.
Not sustainable, no.
To step in. No.
But when you're down your QB1, gets the job done.
Yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, you need to have a quarterback who's on point. He doesn't necessarily have to throw for 80% for 367, but you need to have production in the pass game. And they had 4 explosion passes of over 30 yards against a Hamilton. Hamilton's not the best defense in the CFL, certainly not against the run. They're all right against the pass. They have some. You talked about 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙬😐 and Peters. They've got some good DBs there. There's no weak points, I don't think. And Collaros shredded them. And it wasn't even like that one catch to Mitchell in the end zone. That was contested. But Ontario Wilson and Dent, they were wide open on some plays. I don't know what Hogan schemed up. I'm sure Lappa will break it down in one of his videos this week. We'll rewatch the game, of course. I may even rewatch it twice. It was so entertaining, and I missed a lot of it because my son was there and we were playing catch on the concourse. But there's just so much to love in this game. But he shredded that Hamilton secondary. Hamilton caused the most turnovers in the CFL this year, Darrin, coming into this game, 32. The Bombers did not turn the ball over, and Hamilton DBs have the most interceptions in the CFL. Bombers came in with making the most interceptions. Zach was second in the league with 13, even though he'd missed 3 games. And again, You don't turn the ball over. You give yourself a chance to win any football game. This team has enough talent. The O-line was phenomenal. Zach wasn't sacked
The
once.
whole
I didn't
offense.
see I didn't see a ton of pressure in Zach's face. I thought the D-line came to play. Vaughters chipped in with 2 sacks. We could look at the defensive stats too, I'm sure, but
Yeah, I'll pull it
uh,
up now. Yeah.
they got the Bombers defense managed 3 sacks. Kyrie Wilson was brilliant. Demario Houston was great. Holm was great. Jones
Shaden
would be.
Woodby had a
Yeah.
game high 9 tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Woodby's even sort of being asked to play that extra DB that Griffin was playing, and he got injured. And
Yeah.
Jordan Younger said how difficult, like impossible to replace a guy like Michael Griffin who can play linebacker, he can rush the quarterback, he can play DB. Griffin was a machine back there, kind of like the Swiss Army knife in that backfield, or sorry, the back end, Darren. And
Look at
this
these
would-be guy has come in and he's performed admirably.
Look at these knockdowns for Winnipeg's defense. 2 from Dietrich Nichols. Well, we caught one earlier on the video highlights. 1 for Dexter Lawson Jr. 1 for Kyrie Wilson. This was at the line of scrimmage. 2 for Demario Houston. Winnipeg's defense did it kind of in all different ways. Super impressive victory. Super impressive performance by the defense that helped them lead to victory. Like when you beat a division leading team like the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and you don't just beat them, but you beat them 40-3. The whole league is going to be like, holy shit, Winnipeg, hey? Winnipeg.
Mhm.
You understand that? Winnipeg's had their struggles this year, but the whole league is on notice right now. The whole league has got to be thinking, uh-oh, here we go again. There's the East Division leading Hamilton Tiger Cats. Toronto lost again last night to fall to 5-10. But at 9-6, still leads the East Division. And here comes Winnipeg. The Calgary Stampeders are on a bit of a bump in the road. Maybe it's a bump in the road. Maybe it's a tumble. The BC Lions, if they can continue to play some better defense and keep penalties down, like so many penalties in their win, in their last win. Edmonton is not out of the equation yet at 5-9. They're not at all. Here's Winnipeg's in the mix, and you just beat a team that beat you 2 weeks earlier, 40-3, like Schnitzy. 40-3. This wasn't 40-19. This was 40-3. This was a statement win. This was an absolute dismantling of a team that has an MOP candidate at quarterback, another MOP candidate at receiver, an okay, like a pretty good defense, and one of the best road teams in the CFL, at least coming into today. They were 4-2 on the road. Or pardon me, they were 5-2 on the road. Now they're 5-3. Like outside of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, they were the best team away from home this season. The CFL is going to be wondering what Winnipeg can bring the rest of the way, because Winnipeg now enters their 3rd and final bye of the season. Just pulling up the schedule here. The home stretch is looking pretty good for the Bombers. There's today's game, Saturday, September 27th against the Ticats. They'll have a bye. They will then go to Edmonton to face the last place Elks, who I think are still, they're not a lowly team. Justin Rankin is one of the best players in the league right now. Him and Cody, they're kind of carrying that team. But then a huge game against Saskatchewan in Winnipeg, and then a game against Montreal. This game's going to be very important for Montreal as they're still trying to, get a home playoff game, potentially win the division. It's wide open.
Yeah, it is wide open because Calgary's faltering. You see Vernon Adams. Sometimes he's absolutely brilliant. You think he's going to be the MOP of the league, Darren. And sometimes he's abysmal. And sometimes he's in between. He's not on a good streak right now. I think losing flow Arimulade and that Calgary fearsome defensive line really helped. He's out for this, or hurt them. He's really out for he's out for the season. And as you said, like, we have the tiebreaker over BC. So as long as we keep pace with BC, and then we went toe to toe with the Riders, and again, if we hadn't turned the ball over so many times, we could have won both of those games. And you just, I'm not going to say the Bombers are going to get first place right now. That would be a very tall order. Saskatchewan would have to completely fall on its face. Although the Bombers do play the Riders again on October 17th. It's a Friday night. Hopefully we sell it out. That's a home game for the Bombers. That's a winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
This defense, now we talked about this before, this defense hasn't looked very sexy doing it, but they have kept elite quarterbacks to below average yards. Trevor Harris, both of those times against Saskatchewan, both of these times against Bo Levi Mitchell, who was by far the leading MLP candidate in the East Division. Drew Brown got a lot of yards, but he only had one touchdown and he threw two backbreaking picks. So this defense can handle. They've shown it again and again. They can handle the elite quarterbacks in this league. They absolutely can.
Winnipeg doesn't play Calgary again, but you just saw the standings and where Winnipeg is in the West Division. They are jockeying directly with the Stamps. They're 8-6. Winnipeg is 8-7. BC is 8-7. Winnipeg doesn't play BC again. They do have the tie break against BC with a couple of victories earlier this year. But if you look at where Calgary has been, okay, here's Labor Day. They lose 31-19 in Edmonton. Calgary then had a bye in week 15. In week 16, they host BC and get pumped 52-23 as Nathan Rourke went off. Okay. And then this week, they go to Montreal and lose again. Calgary is stumbling. Is it a bump in the road or is it a stumble? I'm not sure. They go to BC next week for a very tough matchup on Saturday night because BC is playing really, really well right now. Their defense, maybe not so much, but they're a good football team. Nathan Rourke is the MOP frontrunner in my mind. They then go to Hamilton. So this is, two desperate teams at this point. Week 20. Well, we should be taking a, keeping an eye on Saskatchewan and, BC, BC as well. Edmonton at BC, Toronto at Calgary in week 20. And then week 21, while Winnipeg has Montreal, Calgary in Edmonton again, and BC at Saskatchewan, which is a tough game for BC to win. The playoff scenarios, like, we get emails from the Canadian Football League press office, all the time. And I send those on to you and Walby, of course. And we get playoff scenarios. Well, there hasn't really been a lot of playoff scenarios despite us being in week 17 of a 21-week season because things are so tight. Like, we could have a crossover. We could have an east to west. I don't think we'll have a west. I don't think we'll have an east to west, but we could have a west to east. And everybody's so jammed in the standings that it's wide open. I think the point we're trying to make here, Schnitzy, is that there's been a lot of teams having a lot of struggles this year. Don't think Winnipeg is, try to be an empath, try to be a little bit, put yourself in other people's shoes. And just because your team, Bombers Nation, has been to 5 straight Grey Cups and don't look as dominant as they have, despite it being a very important year in hosting the Grey Cup, put yourself in other team's shoes and know that this season is not lost. They're going to get healthy up this bye week. You could see Ontario Wilson back. You could see Jamal Parker back. You could see a handful of guys come back, and Winnipeg can make some noise. I really believe that they could be a Grey Cup champion this year. And wouldn't that
Absolutely
cement a
good.
legacy?
I mean, Darrin, think about how many times the Bombers have been left at the altar at the Grey Cup. The last 3 years, they have played teams that they were better than, but those teams were hovering around 500, and then they got hot at the right time. And they were sizzling by the time the Grey Cup happened, and they took care of a dominant, historic Bombers team. There's no reason the Bombers can't do that now. They did it in 2019, right?
Mhm.
Collaros comes in. They shored up that defensive secondary with Brandon Alexander go to safety. Mercy Maston, Nick Taylor came in. Collaros was able to settle that quarterback position down for that Bombers team. Strabler was injured. Nichols was out for the season. Collaros didn't do a whole lot on that playoff run. He didn't take over games. Maybe the West final he threw for 267 and a touchdown. But other than that, it was complimentary football. It was Andrew Harris. Well, now they've got their next Andrew Harris. They have Brady Oliveira, who is a stud,
Mhm.
ripping off. He had 98 yards, but he almost had a 100-yard game today, Darren. It would have been the third 100-yard game in a row, which I think would have been the first time he'd ever done that. He's on the verge of a 1,000-yard season. Like, if this O-line is gelling like they looked like they did tonight, because you and I've talked about this, what matters for the O-line is not just their individual talent, but how they play as a unit.
Mhm.
That is huge for an O-line. And it looked like they were getting it together tonight. As Zach Collaros at all kinds of times. So you get that O-line gelling, you get Brady going, and you get Zach on point like this, not turning the ball over like he was. You've got Ontario Wilson now, comes via the New York Jets. We got Jarrett Stearns back, Nick Dembski, Clercius. I think there's a high ceiling for Clercius. I don't think we've seen it yet. He had some nice possession, second down catches tonight. And then if
Good
Dylan
role player.
Mitchell,
Very good
i-
role
i-
player.
yeah, blocker, right? But if Dylan Mitchell can play like this too, now you're looking at this receiving core was the Achilles heel of this team early
Mhm.
in the season. If even with wheat fallout, if this receiving core could step up like this offense will cook. And the defense has been good all year. They gave up a lot of explosion plays in the first part of the season, Darren, and then they've locked it down, man. Like 2 games against Hamilton, a team that has arguably maybe the second most prolific passing game in the CFL behind Saskatchewan. If you look at the statistics, no explosion plays for Bo Levi Mitchell. They almost shut them out today,
I
Darren.
just showed the doink field goal.
Like
That was the
like if not
only
for
points they allowed today. They nearly pitched a shutout.
that was inches away from bouncing the other way and shutting out. Like, you don't shut out teams in the CFL very often. Like, it almost never happens.
Mhm.
This was the defense is just playing insane. You had, as I said, James Vaughters goes off tonight. He had a great speed rush off the edge, got a sack on Mitchell. He had another sack. Like,
They're playing really well. They
they're
are
playing
playing
this,
really well.
and this
Yeah.
is and we started off by saying this, but I think it bears repeating. I believe that this is the first game of the season that all three phases of the Bombers have played to their potential, played to their ceiling. You had Castillo hitting field goals. You had Vavel with a return touchdown. They contained Isaiah Wooden, who's arguably the second best returner in the CFL behind Vavel. Right? You had Legio missing. So we won the special teams handily. Defense kept them no explosion plays to 3 points. Sacked Mitchell 3 times, a guy that gets the ball out really fast. And then on offense, they had over 500 yards of offense for the first time this season,
Yep.
right? They've had a few 400 yards, but a lot of that came in garbage time early in the season. This was the offense's best game, maybe the defense's best game, and maybe the special teams' best game. Albeit, there were games where Vavel had a couple returns in that Week 9 game against Toronto, but
But
they
all
put
the
it together,
phases of
man.
specials could have
All
been
the
their best game.
phases.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they put it together. And yes, maybe this is the ceiling of the Bombers, and they're not always going to play to
Maybe.
this ceiling every week. But again, if they don't turn the ball over at that prolific pace, they could beat anybody.
So Jeffrey Townsend, who's self-proclaimed a little bit trollish at times and a Stampeders fan, says, "Come on, guys, how many years in a row do you think the Bombers can make the Grey Cup? The difference between now and the past 5 years is the West is much better." Look, you're right in saying the West is much better, but this isn't about Winnipeg getting there again. This is about Winnipeg is definitely not out of the question. because that has been the conversation all year long. And Jeffrey, you're in this live chat every show. Every show. You know it. Like, we're here for the Bombers fans. Okay. Schnitzy, you're a bleeding blue and gold diehard. I serve the audience and I do the best I can to be objective. I think we present things fairly, but also present an optimistic tilt to it because our audience is Blue Bomber fans. The reality is, from where the mentality of collectively a Bomber Nation, where it was 24 hours ago to right now, there is absolutely reason for hope and optimism. Objectively, like, they beat they won today 40-3. They nearly pitched a 40-0 shutout. That ball just bounced the other way, you know? An incredible performance. Having Zach Collaros back, the way the defense, you talked all about it, Schnitzy, the special teams as well. You can't sleep on the Bombers anymore. So just responding to that question about, come on, guys, Bombers get to the Grey Cup again. I imagine that's what the perspective is from outside Bomber Nation. No doubt. People are tired of the Bombers being there all the time. We're just saying you can't write them off yet. Walby's Warrior says, James in the Peg, goes to Zach. That would be Collaros, not you, Schnitzer.
Thank you.
Coming in after 2 weeks, tons of doubters, way too many interceptions, shows he's still got game. No doubt. Do you got a Walby's Warrior?
I do. I do have a wall. Now, I saw someone on the chat say Woodby. Peter D said Woodby, and I was gonna pick Woodby, but I think I'm gonna pick him for another award, Peter. But I think he's a worthy choice. So it's a great choice. Shout out to Peter. I'm actually gonna give it to the O-line, Darrin. I've talked about them a couple times today. They get over 100 yards rushing from Brady and Strevler combined. They put up almost 400 yards of passing, so they're protecting Zach. So they're run blocking, they're pass blocking. I don't know that Zach even got touched tonight. I'd have to rewatch the game. There was a couple times where there was some pressure, but that Zach rolled out and he threw the ball away. Like, Zach took care of the football really well, but I thought the O-line played really, really solid tonight. And that's a position group that people have been bashing. We even saw people bashing them for the Revis late hit on high hit on Collaros. That wasn't on the O-line. That wasn't on the O-line. Zach needed to get rid of that ball. And it's not like these were all checkdowns. Like you saw that in the Montreal game on the road where they won 26-13, where Brady Oliveira was checked down Charlie. And there's 4 passes of 30+ yards. Like, you need time in the pocket to deliver those, and guys were wide open. So a shout out to Hogan, who obviously schemed really well this game. But I thought the O-line was phenomenal. I saw Colin Kowski and Neufeld just moving guys around, and Brian holding up the end, and Randolph, and of course Gabe Wallace. So shout out to them, and that's exciting, Darrin, for an O-line that everyone was saying was over the hill and too old. And listen, maybe they just had a great game and they fall back they regress to the mean, but I think they were phenomenal tonight. And I look forward to the next game against Edmonton, who has Toronto's D-line from last year, and see what they could do against them.
What you just saw there was a sequence of plays to highlight your Walby's Warrior, the Blue Bombers offensive line.
Well done.
I was going to give mine to Zach Collaros, but I have a feeling he's probably going to have some more games like today still to come this season. So I'll give it to the guy we just saw catch a 13-yard pass and then a 10-yard pass, and that's Dylan Mitchell. Tons of criticism, tons of doubters, and no doubt a guy that, couldn't gain a starting spot at a training camp after signing a 6-figure salary, low 100s. To playing, getting into the lineup, and then a couple catches, 10 yards, 20 yards, 28 yards, 30, to going back-to-back first downs like we just saw in the first quarter, to hauling in a touchdown later in the game. or pardon me, earlier in the game, capped a 7-play, 93-yard drive with a 44-yard touchdown. That dime drop from Zach Collaros. I mean, that's probably worth another look. I'll pull it up here. That's my Wallabies Warrior. I'm giving it to Dylan Mitchell. If they can have him play the way he did today, the rest of the season, they're going to be in outstanding shape offensively. To have him, hopefully Carrick Wheatfall back, Ontario Wilson, Nick
Dembski and
Dembski.
Clarcius.
I mean, Dembski and Clarcius, like Dembski is an absolute freak of nature. He's playing his best football right now of his career. You know,
and how old is he? 31. Dembski, I don't know.
I know I always say that to you too. Like if a player is really good and you'll be like, how old is he anyway? I don't care. Objectively, I don't. Subjectively, yeah, he's plus, he's over the age of 30, but
he's like he's 31. He's getting better with age, Darrin.
The fine wine.
Fine wine. Can I just say something? I saw in the chat, Jerry Awanis, a great comment. I didn't notice this so much in the game, but he's saying Hogan changed Collaros' launch point all game. One of the things that kept Zach clean. I think that's a great comment. Thanks, Jerry. And hey, again, that goes to scheme, right? Like, because, if you're holding on to the ball too long and you're sitting there in the pocket, you're a sitting duck. So yeah, change the launch point. Zach is very nimble. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not a running quarterback, but he is mobile. We argued about this and you convinced me. He is a mobile quarterback. He
absolutely
can move.
Is.
He's great in the pocket. He can get outside the pocket, rolling out to
he can
his
do
right.
things while he's on the move, like that little free play to over the shoulder to Oliveira.
And he almost had Sterns in the end zone rolling to his right. He just threw it. He overthrew that one, maybe, or maybe he expected Sterns to be there. Sterns is about 5 yards over his head, but in the end zone. But again, proof. We've argued about this about Zach's arm strength, Darrin. I've said he's underthrown guys for the last couple of years, but he wasn't. I didn't notice him underthrowing anybody tonight. In fact, in that particular example, he overthrew Jareth Sterns. So, yeah, let's see more of this, please. More, please.
More, please. Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into our bonfire burning point, our Westwood Wide to the right, the happy honker, and our game balls, want to give a special shout out to our good friends at the Silver Heights restaurant. Are you looking for legendary ribs and steaks in Winnipeg? Hit the Heights in sunny St. James. Silver Heights Restaurant and Lounge serves up your favorites, mouthwatering seafood, hearty Canadian classics, and cozy vibes in a family-run Winnipeg institution since 1957. They got specials daily all week long. Dine-in, takeout, delivery, with free parking, great beer selection in the lounge. It's Winnipeg's original sports bar. Watch the Jets, the Bombers, NFL, and more. They got a monster big screen in there. It's an atmosphere when there is a Winnipeg game on. You can watch the NFL and your local teams as well. The Heights is open late, just west of Assiniboine Park. You can find them at 2169 Portage Avenue. Order, book online, or find more information at silverheightsrestaurant.ca. You tell them the Bonfire Boys sent you. You're not going to regret going to the Heights. They got the best ribs in town, super tasty food, great beer. There's Tony, there's JC, great people. You'll always have a good time at the Heights where tradition tastes great. You tell them the Bonfire Boys sent you. They'll take very, very good care of you. Schnitzy, as far as the bonfire burning point, there were a lot of offensive plays that I feel would be deserving of the bonfire burning point. But it was some of the defensive plays that I feel are the reason Winnipeg won this football game. So I'm giving the bonfire burning point to just kind of the second, the late in the first quarter, early and midway through the second quarter. Oh, sorry about that. Here we go. Now I got it. the job that Dexter Lawson Jr. and Evan Holm did, Demario Houston, Dietrich Nichols, Reddick Cramdy, they kept Kenny Lawler in check, which is a very, very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
Lawler finished today with 2 catches on 9 targets for 34 yards. 2 catches on 9 targets. And like Keandre Smith had 65 yards. He caught everything thrown his way because the Bombers were focused on Shamar Bridges. They were focused on Lawler. They were focused on, those dangerous guys. There's Hamilton's receiving numbers. Smith, 6 of 6 for 65, had 3 second down conversions. Shamar Bridges, if Kenny Lawler wasn't on this team, I think everybody would be talking about Shamar Bridges. He is that good. Had 3 second down conversions as well. But keeping those two combined to 100 yards and then Lawler to 34, my bonfire burning point is going into halftime without the Ticats being able to do any damage on offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that turnover on downs, I guess it wasn't really a turnover because the clock was at zeros, but to keep and credit credit Milanovic, right? Going for it on third down in that position, down 16-3, Darrin at the end of the second half. I think it was 3rd and 4, and just trying to get the touchdown. I think that's smart football. And I think the conversion percentage on third down at that point is around 50%. So I don't think that was a bad play. But the Willie there was a pass interference there on Kenny Lawler, but Willie Jefferson tipped the ball at the line. Again, Willie getting involved, right? That was huge because otherwise the Ticats are on the 1 yard line with the PI, and then it's probably a 16-10 game. That's a
Remind me
totally
when that
different
was.
game. Right at the end of the first half, end of the second quarter, Hamilton went for it on third down for the touchdown instead of settling for the field goal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was exactly your burning point, Darrin, but Wesley, Rat River Rebel, saying it is his burning point. Oh, sorry, it was 19-3, not 16-3. My bad. But yeah, the 2nd and 4. So this is 2nd and 4. They don't get it. I guess that counts for a sack. That was actually that they didn't count that as a sack for Jefferson. I don't think.
No.
They should. You'd think they would have because he was behind the line of scrimmage. But then Hamilton's 3rd and 4 with the clock winding down, and instead of kicking the easy field goal, they go for it.
Yeah, that didn't count as a sack. That counted as a tackle for. Well, it's a 0 yard gain. So you got back to the line of scrimmage. It's not a sack. It's not a tackle for loss. It's a 0 yard gain. So maybe he gained half a yard. Well, no, even if he gained half a yard, it would have been a 1 yard gain. That's how they mark it. That's how they do it.
They go for it here on 3rd and 4. And again, trying to feed it to Lawler.
Yeah, there's the tip.
So because it's a tip, you can't call pass interference.
Well, yeah.
And Nichols is right there.
Yeah. Jeff Cabillas, Houston and Lawson had some big breakups today. Winnipeg Freedom, Kenny Who. No kidding.
Well, and if I could just say something quick about Dexter Lawson Jr., Darrin. I mean, this is a guy that was let go by the Hamilton Tiger Cats last year. He started 3 games for them at the beginning of the season. And then against his old team, against the usually lethal Kenny Lawler, he shut him down mostly, right? And you saw how excited he was breaking up that deep pass that you showed a couple minutes ago. So, folks, you got to watch on YouTube because there's highlights.
That's right.
My bonfire burning point, eh?
Yeah.
I like how you pointed at the defense, and I think that's a really good burning point. For me, Darrin, it was the play in the 3rd quarter, 6:58 left was the actual play, but the drive, so Winnipeg was up 19-3, and Winnipeg started from their own 16-yard line after a Nick Constantino 56-yard punt Bavel only returned it to a couple of yards. By the way, Constantinu was unbelievable. Hamilton's punter. I thought he absolutely nuked some balls today. So Winnipeg starts at their own 16-yard line, and then on 1st and 10 at the Winnipeg 53, Collaros completes it down that left. It looked like a fade route to Ontario Wilson
Yeah.
for 56 yards. Just tackled at the 1. I thought it was a touchdown. And then Stravler takes it from there, puts it in the end zone. And I thought at that point the game was over. It was 26-3. Third quarter winding down. And even at 19-3, I didn't think this game was over, Darren. We know how prolific Hamilton's offense can be, how quickly they can score on those big plays. And I thought at 26-3, the game was pretty much over. They couldn't really rely on the run game anymore. Something the Bombers also did well was Greg Bell, who was coming in as the hottest running back in the CFL to that point. I
Bully
think he has
Bell.
something. Yeah, Bully Bell. I wrote it down. He came in the last 3 games. I think he had like 370 yards of rushing or something. He was the hottest running back coming into this. Yeah, 368 in the last 3 games. And I thought when the game was in the balance still, they contained Greg Bell. He had that 130-yard run, but he only ended up with 88 yards, and then Hamilton down 26-3 really has to abandon the run game there, and the Bombers could just pin their ears back and take care of business. So that's my burning point. Oh,
Here it
here's the
is.
play. Perfect. Look at that. And
Dialed
look
it up
at
for you.
Wilson. He's wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach has all kinds of time to throw, clean pocket.
Yep.
Just a beauty.
Well, Ontario gets a flag there afterwards for getting a little mouthy. Here, if you missed it, watch his celebration
I
and
don't
then.
actually think the flag was on
Oh
Ontario
yeah,
Wilson.
it was right there. Yeah, absolutely it was.
What? Let me
Yeah.
pull that up on the
Watch.
playlist.
Watch. This right here. You like that? You like that?
Oh, you're right. Oh, but yeah, that's why I was confused because Moxie, number 6 of Hamilton, the DB, also got an objectionable
They
conduct. They
both got
both
objectionable
did.
conduct.
So it was
Yep.
offsetting, right? Right.
So that could
Oh,
just be
yeah.
language, right? There are some
Yeah.
words you can't say. They will flag you every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hear the F word sometimes on the TSN broadcast. You hear other swears. There's a particular word you don't hear. Thank goodness. Sometimes it's used, and the officials will give you an objectionable conduct for it. But either way, a 56-yard catch and run for Ontario Wilson here. One play later, Chris Streveler punches it in from a yard out to make it 25-3. That was a 7-play 94-yard drive to make it 25-3. That is Zach Schnitzer's bonfire burning point.
Yeah, boy.
See, Mike O'Shea, not scolding him for the penalty, but congratulating him for the touchdown. Brayson's right. It was offsetting. Left Winnipeg first and goal from the 1.
Brayson, the Bengals fan.
Yeah.
Jake Browning, baby.
Do you have a Westwood wide to the right?
It is hard to find a wide to the right for your team when they spank the East Division leading Hamilton Tiger Cats 40-3. Oh, yes. Do not do the wave. Maybe do the wave when your team's winning 40-3. That's appropriate when they're singing Sweet Caroline. But when the game's in the balance, oh, yeah, Dave, I agree. That new Bison logo, I love that logo, Darren. And I think it looks beautiful in that end zone. What was I saying? Oh,
You're wide to the
happy
right.
honker. Oh, no, wide to the right. I'm getting distracted by the chat here, but the chat is always so lit.
Always so lit.
Yeah, this is small potatoes, folks. But and you tell me, Darren. Tell me in the chat if I am maybe
I won't tell
under
you in the chat. I'll tell you right to your face.
you tell me to my face, but tell me in the chat, folks, if I am underestimating how hard it is to kick point after attempts for pro kickers.
Well,
Here's the
nobody's 100% at it. That's how hard it is.
I think Sean White is. Um,
Well,
not 100%. I don't want I just don't think that kickers should ever miss those PATs, Darren. It's straight down the middle, right? He's
yeah.
on the hash mark he likes. He's on the left hash marks.
But
It's basically a 32-yard field goal.
this isn't
You got to hit those.
the day of Troy Westwood. They called him Mr. 603 because he had 603 consecutive point afters. That's when the ball was on the 2, right? And it was like a 9-10 yard chip shot. It's now on the what is it, on the 30?
I believe it's on 32.
It's on the
Yeah, because it's a 32-yard kick.
yeah, so it's on the 25.
So, like I think Castillo's now missed 3 or 4 of them this year. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, it's hard to find a wide to the right when your
In a
team
40-3
absolutely
game.
destroys a division leading team like the Ticats. But I just don't I just hope it's not a pattern for Castillo. Like we all know what happened in the 2022 Grey Cup when Mark Leggio, who coincidentally missed a field goal here tonight, when he missed that point after attempt after the Janarian Grant touchdown. And, it came back to bite them. They lost the game by a single point. So I just don't want to see Castillo struggle with that when, you get into playoff time or even Grey Cup time, dare I say. So
Well,
that's my wide to the right. Look at that dime.
my Westwood wide to the right is those who were doubting Zach Collaros. Those who said he is done. Those who said 37's too old without realizing that Trevor Harris is 39. That Ricky Ray did it well into his late 30s and at the age of 40. That Anthony Calvillo did it to that. Like, Zach Collaros is not done. He showed everybody tonight what's up. Did it with a clean pocket, did it without a clean pocket, did it under duress. That's my Westwood wide to the right. You got a happy honker, and we'll see if the sound effect will actually come through. Let's try it here. There you go.
I do have a happy honker, and I do think I give the happy honker to this aspect of the Bombers every time they have a orange shirt game, Darren, to celebrate the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. But there was over 1,000 Indigenous fans from 90 different communities all over the province in that south end zone. My son even noticed. He's like, "Why are all those people wearing orange?"
Mm-hmm.
5th straight year for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers orange shirt game. And this isn't just like lip service to this really important initiative. I mean, the Bombers were the first professional team in North America to do the land acknowledgement. They've been committed to this for years. They just do such a great job. I mean, they brought people from communities that were so far north that they were further than Winnipeg is from the Panama Canal. that is as far as these communities are north, Darren. And they had the dancers and the drumming and I mean, what happened to residential school survivors and genocide in this country? It's a dark black eye on Canada. And I think it's great that the Bombers have gotten out in front of this, and they really put their money where their mouth is, literally, and make this a real event. And it wasn't just the people that were wearing the orange sweaters that they flew in. I saw so many Indigenous people at this game, just loving the atmosphere and loving this team. And I'd like to get my hands on one of those orange practice jerseys they have. But The Grand Chief Garrison Satie said, this is from a Ed Tate article this week, something beautiful happens here every time we do this. It's not just a game. It's not just a sporting event. It's reconciliation in action. And just absolutely proud of the team for what they do. Try and get one of those warm-up jerseys. They'll be there. I think they're available for online auction. You can see on the Blue Bombers website, and the funds raised there will be donated to WASAC, which is Winnipeg Aboriginal Sport and Achievement Center. I
Great
think
youth organization. Yep.
yeah, and the auction opens September 26th. So yeah, and oh, by the way, just a little bit of a happy hunker for those gold pants, Darren. I don't like when the Bombers wear the blue jerseys with the blue pants. I just don't like the look.
Agreed.
When they wear their third jerseys, the alternate ones, they just look like a giant blueberry. I don't like it. My son was even like, "Why are they wearing gold pants, Dad?" Because 4-year-olds notice that stuff. Because every game he's been to, they wear all blues. And I said, "Buddy, they're blue and they're the blue and gold. That's the nickname of the team.
Yeah.
They should have gold pants with that sweet blue stripe on it, gold helmets. It pops. I don't want to see blue pants, even if they wear those third jerseys. Wear the gold pants, Bombers.
Oof, the
Listen to me.
striping's different though. I don't know if they can. But
Yeah, maybe not. But yeah. But I just don't like the blue look, all blue.
Incredibly well said by you, Schnitzy. I echo everything you said. There was a moment here I noticed in the live chat. They said that a linesman ran into Mike Miller on the opening kickoff. So
really?
Here it is. And
awesome. Oh,
there it is right there. You see the official tumbling? So he's running down the sidelines blind, maybe a bit out of bounds. I don't know. I don't know who's at fault here, but this official falls right there. Oof. I guess that was Mike Miller.
Mike Miller still making tackles on special teams from the sidelines.
Schnitzy.
Look at that.
This is on the replay. It shows it better. Okay. I'll take a look here.
Damn, I love that. Do you like that new Bises logo, Darren?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like how they added some blue in there.
Yeah, but I'm a Rifles guy. Got a big Rifles game tomorrow.
Yeah, what's going on with the Rifles? Where are they at right now?
They're a scrappy football team, man. Their record doesn't reflect how well they've been playing. They have the league's leading passer. They have the league's leading interception guy who's hurt right now. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow afternoon. So Riley Element leads the league in passing. Liam Southcombe leads the league with 4 interceptions, and he's been hurt for a while. Kyler Banfield, twin brother to Caden Banfield. Caden being on the Blue Bombers practice roster as a Winnipeg Rifle. He's been hurt this year, but maybe the best running back in Canadian junior football. Kyler, his brother, leads the league in tackles through like 5 games. He's got like 60 tackles. It's insane. And then they have the league's leading kicker in, oh gosh, why am I blanking on his name?
Maya Turner. No, that's
the Bisons. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. They have the league's leading kicker in, oh shoot, forgive me. But if you guys want to check it out, you can purchase, it's like a pay-per-view. You can purchase a chance to watch the Winnipeg Rifles, CJFLTV.com. That's Canadian Junior Football League, CJFLTV.com. Hashtag Rifle Up. Dancing Gabe was at the game the other day.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, now you know you're a destination.
Yeah. Twig and Berry says Willie J leads the league in being awesome. Yeah. Scott Roger knows what's up. His son Jake was an outstanding rifle, now a Manitoba Bison. Rifles are going to rip it up the rest of the way. What a game that was, says Dan Jets fan. So great to see everybody in the live chat. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you can. And most of all, you can just go just below the video where it says share and just click on that share and copy, and then just like email it to somebody or text it to somebody. Or you can use the share thing right there and like post it to social media or whatever. That would be huge Thank you in advance. I don't, happy honker.
Oh, can I give your happy hunker, Darrin?
Yeah, okay. I'll give it to you
Can I
this time.
steal it?
Yep.
How about the third quarter, folks? What? The Bombers scored 14 points in the third quarter. That's usually the dead zone for the Bombers. No
They're
cell service.
-2 coming into today in point differential
In overall or the third quarter?
in the third quarter. Here's
How
the
did you
third
pull
quarter.
that up so quickly?
Here's the stats at the end of the third quarter for the whole game. I
Woo.
like those numbers. 3's been my lucky number.
Yeah, buddy.
33-3. But passing yards, like Collaros had 340 yards through 3 quarters. Chris
Yeah.
Strebler took over midway through the fourth. But 69 rushing, 410 in the net, 11 of 14 second down conversion
Look at that
rate.
second down conversion rate.
It's
That's
insane. They finished
that's
14 of 18.
That's
But 11 of
unbelievable.
14 at the end of the third quarter, and then time of possession pretty even, but not always indicative of the game we
Third
saw.
quarter gets a shout out because that has been a quarter that has really hamstrung the Bombers, quite frankly. I don't know if they had a lot going into the Ottawa game. They had 36 points in the third quarter in how many games? Well, now they're 8-7, that's 15. So 13 games. I mean, that's like less than 3 points a quarter, third quarter. That's abysmal. And it actually put Jason Hogan in the crosshairs somewhat because the defenses on the other team are going to make adjustments at halftime, right? And they're, if they shut you down in the third quarter, then it means you're not making adjustments too, right? And so that looks bad on the whole offense, but particularly the coordinators. We'll throw Jarius Jackson in there, but they kept their foot on the gas, Darrin, and it was actually their most prolific quarter of the whole game. They got more points than any other quarter. So credit the third quarter and Jason Hogan there and Jarius Jackson and all those guys.
Yeah, amen to that. I'm going to take my happy honker back. 12 straight sellouts for the Bombers.
Yeah.
3-2-3-4-3. 32,343 at the Madhouse on Matheson once again. Bombers Nation, you know what's good. Congratulations to you. What a difference a week makes, says Blue and Goldens. No doubt about that. Okay, let's hand out our game ball, Schnitzy. Who you got?
Whew, how many game balls can I give out?
I'm giving you 4.
4?
That's it. Hard
right.
cap on 4. And hit the live chat. Let us know who you'd give your game ball or 2. You know what? Live chat, you get 4 if you want them. But give us 1 or 2. Schnitzy, you get 4, and I'll just take 2 because I'll give you one of mine.
Okay. Man, there's so many guys you could give it to. I mean, we talked to someone in the chat, Peter, who was it? Talked about Jaden Woodby, a guy who led both teams in tackles with 9 tackles. And sometimes when he's listed as a linebacker here, but he's a DB, is he not, Darrin?
No, he's linebacker.
Or is he kind of a hybrid?
Yeah.
He's a linebacker.
I think he's been
He
playing
plays DB in some sets.
Pardon?
In some sets, he plays in coverage.
He plays the dime, the double dime, like when they play that double dime, right?
Double dime, fair.
So
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I'll break it down for people. I'll pull up the Blue Bombers depth chart. Here we go. So here's your 4-man defensive front. Okay. And then here's your 3-man quote unquote linebacking core. This is not a linebacker spot. It's the strong side linebacker, AKA the dime. In NFL football, you have 4 defensive backs. You have a corner, a halfback, a safety, and a corner. This is the 12th dude, if you will, one of these halfback spots. The nickel would be adding a 5th nickel, 5, adding a 5th defensive back. Well, in the CFL, you already have 5 defensive backs. So this is the dime. Nickel is 5, dime is 6. This is your 6th defensive back. That's the dime back spot. Winnipeg will play a double dime, or sometimes in the NFL, they call it the dollar package because you go like nickel, dime. You can't say quarter because there's a quarterback and quarters zone. So to keep the language kind of intact without confusion, nickel, dime, dollar. The dollar or the double dime is when you got two of these cover linebackers, your Retta Cramdy, your Jaden Woodby, your Michael Griffin II. Michael Griffin has missed the last 2 games with injury. So it's been Cramdy. Smith, I think, has played a little bit. I haven't seen too much of him there. But Woodby and Cramdy, what they'll do is they'll play 3 guys on the line. They'll play their 2 linebackers and then a double dime. So essentially a defensive end or a defensive tackle. They'll take that guy out and they'll put Cramdy or Woodby in as a double dime. I think Woodby's kind of been playing that role.
Yeah.
Clear as mud. Clear as mud for people out there.
Well put, buddy. I like that double dime moniker. And you know, I think the thing about Jordan Younger's defense is it's complex. And you have to be smart to play in that defense. Just the way they play some of that, what is it, match man coverage, which is very complicated. I think Woodby has fit in really well. He's obviously a smart player, and you know, I was going to say it's not like when you know when your DBs are your leading tacklers, and it's because your defense is getting gashed for long passes. Well, that wasn't happening this time. So even if he was playing in coverage or linebacker, you know, get 9 tackles is quite a accomplishment from Mr. Woodby. So he gets one of my game balls. What, I have 3 left. I'm going to give one to James Vaughters. I thought, I think it was in the second quarter, that sack around, I think it was a speed rush around Bordner, who's a good tackle for the Ticats there. And that was an impressive sack he had him dead to rights on Bo Levi Mitchell. I've been waiting for Vaughters to have a breakout game because, you know, at the beginning of the season, we were looking, hey, is this guy going to be the next Jackson Jeffcoat? The guy on the other end who can let Willie Jefferson cook, and he hasn't quite been that. But the Bombers, you know, they're not schemed up to rush the passer like that, often rushing only 3. But it was nice to see him get one. Oh man, how do I not give one to Dexter Lawson?
Well,
hang
on.
What?
Oh, you're gonna go through all 4. I just wanted to say, Rome Catolico in the live chat, love Rome's comments because the emojis they use always come across in text like that. Here's Rome's latest. Let's go Bombers. And then it's trophy, yellow smiling hands, yellow heart, red finger, red number 1, medal, yellow, red first, red text, yellow goal. Love that. Hand pink waving.
Wow.
Smiling, trophy, yellow smiling. There you go.
How about how about okay, Dexter Lawson came in and I tweeted this out before the game. I was a bit concerned that he'd get picked on by Bo Levi Mitchell and Kenny Lawler in particular. And he more than held his own, Darrin.
He's
we talked
really
about
come
how
on lately.
He was great tonight, keeping Lawler to 2 catches on 9 targets for only 34 yards. Fantastic. So he was a guy that needed to step up, and he did with Jamal Parker being out. So kudos to Dexter Lawson Jr. I'm going to give him my 3rd game ball. You know, how do I not give one to Vavel? But I've only got 1 left. Maybe you can give one to Vavel. God, there's Dembski you could give it to. Ontario Wilson. Ontario Wilson, this doesn't get a game ball, but look at the way he redeemed himself, Darrin. He gets that holding call, which negated much of that Brady Oliveira almost 60-yard catch and run. that clip you showed, Darrin.
Mm-hmm.
Oliveira almost got in the end zone, and then he redeems himself with a 56-yard catch in that drive to set up the touchdown. So shout out to him. Shout out to Dylan Mitchell. But I got to give one to Zach Collaros. Could have been a Warrior tonight, but he gets a game ball. Out for 2 games after that high hit by Revis. I'm not going to call it a headshot. We can debate what that word headshot means. But Collaros comes back. People were calling for Collaros to hang up the cleats, Darrin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like they were in 2017, just like they were in 2022, just like they were earlier this year.
Yep.
I
And
talked about this with Taylor Allen on Game Day Winnipeg in the pregame show. Walby on the 1 game injured list. He's good. I promise. He's good. I'm playing hurt. Feel a little bit better today than I did yesterday. We went with a nighttime or an early evening Game Day Winnipeg pregame show. But I was talking about it with Taylor Allen of the Winnipeg Free Press. I got a lot of respect for Zach Collaros. Like, I think it's easy for people on the outside looking in to be like, wow, come on, your future, your health, your family, what kind of, how are you going to take care of your family if they need to have to take care of you because of head injuries and this, that, and the other. The reality is, and the way Collaros put it this week, when media got a chance to speak to him, I wasn't in that scrum, but it's that the only person, Zach Collaros is responsible to a small circle, and that's himself and his family. He's responsible to nobody else. And nobody should judge another person for doing what they need to do to take care of their family. And it could be easy for someone on the outside to say, wow, what do you need another $500,000 for? Like, come on, man, you've made this much money in your career, but you don't know his situation. None of us do. None of us know his situation. We do not know what's going on in his life, whether it's his family, direct or satellite or a family, friend, whatever. We don't know. We don't know his situation. And it's presumptive. It's almost beyond presumptive. Mike O'Shea described Milt Stiegel's comments as cavalier, which I thought was very diplomatic.
O'Shea was pissed. You could tell, right?
Yeah. For saying that if he was my son, I wouldn't want him to play anymore, or he wouldn't play anymore. Yeah. I feel for Milt Stiegel. I get his perspective. He lost his son, who was an elite NCAA athlete. He lost his son this year. So I can understand why that came out. Okay. But that aside, Zach Collaros is responsible to himself, his partner, his wife, his kids, his family, and it's nobody's business, frankly, to make that decision, but himself and his family. So I'm not going to criticize Zach Collaros for continuing to play. We do not know. I went through a ton of concussions. I have post-concussion syndrome. I deal with all types of shit. Really shitty shit. Pardon my language, but it's really shitty shit. Really shitty. But we all have a cross to bear. We all have things we got to live with and deal with. And frankly, we don't even know if Zach Collaros deals with any of that stuff or will deal with that stuff. The science is very indicative, but it's also not hard and fast. So we can't judge Zach Collaros for doing what he needs to do. I'll leave it at that. Big thanks to Blue and Goldens for the super chat, $10 from Blue and Goldens, who says, thanks for all you guys do. Amazing Bomber community. You the best. Amen. You guys are the best. Awesome community here on Game Day After Dark, Bonfire Sports.
And Darrin, we might, before I just finished my last game ball, which you rudely interrupted, with a very good take on Collaros and the concussion stuff. I know you've dealt with that stuff personally, and you know it very well, both from personal and professional perspective. October 11th, Darrin, I don't know if you knew this, but there's a few Bonfire and WST folks getting together at Silver Heights Restaurant to watch the game in Edmonton, October 11th.
What?
I'm going to try and get down there.
Is this the first I've heard of this?
Yeah, well, I just heard about it a couple of days ago.
Days ago? What's going on?
Yeah, so, well, you've got the game. You've got
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Pregame. Hey, Jeffrey Town. He gives a super chat even though you pronounce his name wrong. It's Jeffrey Town End. Jeffrey Town End.
Oh, yeah. That's my bad.
Not send. But keep sending those super chats. That's awesome. But October 11th, a few of us, I'm hoping to get there. Silver Heights. I've never had their ribs. I'm very excited.
Oh, man, you're in for a treat.
So,
no BS. So good, man.
Oh, I can't wait.
And like they do their classic style, they do a dry style, and then they do like a like a bourbon maple or something.
Oof.
They're all really good. I had the bourbon maple recently. They're really good ribs, man. You are not going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So October 11th, I believe the game's at 6 o'clock. Maybe a few of us can get down there.
All right.
Anyway, but just
It
back to
is
Colorado just for a second,
6 o'clock.
because I know we're kind of on the end of the road here, Darren. But
See you at the Heights. Woo.
yeah, but for people to tell Zach Collaros to hang up the cleats, he's 37. I've even criticized his play just statistically the last couple of years. It hasn't been there, but for him, when the season, I don't know if it was hanging in the balance today, Darren. I think it was hanging in the balance against Ottawa, and they absolutely had to win that game. They were at 6-7. You go to 6-8 with BC coming on like they have. Toronto threatening to string some wins together. You wouldn't even get the crossover. Like, this team was in danger of missing the playoffs. And you could argue that bonfire burning point of the entire season was the Trey Vavel 128 missed field goal 128-yard missed field goal return touchdown, which made it, instead of a, what would have been a 10-0 game for Ottawa, made it a 7-7 game. I think at 10-0, the Bombers would have been cooked the way Stravler was throwing. But just to emphasize my point, that people were talking about this team not making the playoffs, being two games under 500. They managed to somehow win that Ottawa game. They come in here against the best team in the East Division, and Collaros paces them for 367 yards, 80% completion with a touchdown, efficiency of 143.3, and they blow the doors off the Ticats. Ed Collaros is the story of this game. He gets my last game ball, and if he plays like this, look out, CFL, because to be honest, he's turned the ball over too many times this year. I think those turnovers have been the biggest reason why the Bombers have 7 losses this year. And if he plays like this, not that he has to play this well, right? Like almost perfect, but if he plays near this level, Darren, this team isn't necessarily going to lose another game the way the defense is playing in special teams. You now have Trey Vavel, who's arguably the best returner in the CFL, with 4 return touchdowns.
Special
He's
teams
now
player of the
ahead of,
year, most outstanding rookie. Absolutely.
yeah, like he could get a couple awards here. Like for a guy that wasn't even supposed to be our returner this year, is supposed to be Peyton Logan, who's not even in the lineup, right? This is incredible. So a shout out to the scouting staff, player personnel, folks in the Blue Bombers head office too, for finding this Vavel guy, but and a number of other players this year, Woodby being one of them. So
shout out to, sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead. I was
failed
done.
to mention this. Shout out to Gord Zackel. Hope I'm saying that right. Gordo, $50 super chat. Woo, Schnitzy.
Wow. Thanks, you, Gord.
Gord says, love listening to this show. Look, that is incredibly generous. Thank you for the support. All of these super chats you guys provide us really help us. Schnitzy, you put in a lot of time and a lot of effort. I work my tail off to bring you guys a good show every pregame, every postgame. Thank you. That's awesome. Really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Yep. And big thanks again to the Silver Heights Restaurant for the great windups as well. Did you know we had our Winnipeg Sports Media Fantasy Football League draft there last year?
Huh?
Yeah.
There you go, man.
You can book private rooms. You can book tables in the corner. You can do all types of things. Great patio. They got 2 patios. They got one on Portage Avenue, which is awesome in the summertime. They got one in the back if you want a little bit more privacy, that sort of thing. There's Charlie Dufo's cousin, Jaden Catelier.
Oh, no
Calgary
way.
kid? I think he's from Calgary, right?
Cool.
Anyway, but big thanks to the Silver Heights Restaurant, all the super chats, all of you guys out there. If you can't super chat, that's okay. Hit that thumbs up. Share this video to your social media, or like send it in an email or a text to somebody. I used to always say the Bonfire Hotline, standard message rates apply, just like texting your mama. Text your mama Game Day After Dark. Maybe she wants to watch. Or maybe it's Uncle Jim or maybe it's cousin Sandra, or maybe it's your next door neighbor or your boss or your work friend. That helps out a lot. Brayson says, you guys ever do a watch party for an away game like last year during the rainy Ottawa game? Is it going to be October 11th?
Maybe we got to take it over, buddy.
Yeah.
Give away a couple of hats or something. Eat some ribs.
Yeah, I could buy some hats and give them away now that we got some
we got a couple. We got some super chat money. We could buy 2-3 hats, give them away. Little schmoozing.
Amen. Okay, I'm going to give my game balls out real quick. You gave one to Zach Collaros, no doubt. I'm going to give one to the special teams unit. Often I'll give these game balls away more like a coach. I'll give a game ball to the special teams, and I'll give a game ball to the defensive backs, all of them. And Twig and Berries, yes, it is. It is accessible to those that have mobility issues. Just call them. silverheadsrestaurant.ca. You can find them like Google Maps or whatever. Find their phone number. They will definitely work to take care of you.
Darrin, we got another super chat.
My man Scott Roger. Thanks, Scott.
Roger Up.
Buddy of mine.
Did you catch that? Roger Up instead of Rifle Up?
Oh, there you go.
Roger Up. Thank
Greg
you.
wants to know how
he
sends a super chat. I think you need to be signed in to your Google account, your YouTube account, and then you can do that. But I think it's pretty straightforward. I think you can just kind of Google it.
I think when you because I've sent them before for WST. I think you and to Sunday Live. I think there's like a little rectangle with a money sign where you do your chat and you just click it, but I do think you have to be signed in. Hey, Jeremy Ediger, what's up? Happy birthday to your mom.
Ms.
Shout out to Jeremy,
Ediger?
one of our
1930
regulars
crew.
in the 1930 crew.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Jeffrey Bannon, who turned 50 last weekend.
Happy belated, JB.
Yeah, one of the pillars of the football community in Manitoba, just like you are, Darrin, and he turned a big 50, so that was fun to celebrate. What was I gonna say? I don't know what.
Well, we were wrapping it up. James in the Peg earlier said his Walby Warrior goes to Zach. I think that's the headline of this game. Schnitzy, the headline of this story is Zach Collaros comes in after 2 weeks, tons of doubters, way too many interceptions. Still shows he's still got game, says James in the Peg, and that kind of writes the lead. All of those picks, does it freaking matter right now? He didn't throw any picks today. He has been so much more responsible with the football as of late. I don't think it matters. It matters when it comes to like all-star selections and this, that, fine. But they don't ask how, they ask how many. How many wins can the Bombers stack here? They've won 2 in a row. They're 8-7. They've got Edmonton next Saturday, home to Saskatchewan on October 17th, home to Montreal on October 25th. That wraps up the regular season. And Winnipeg has their destiny in their own hands. The West is wide open. Calgary 8-6, Winnipeg 8-7, BC 8-7. Winnipeg holds the tiebreaker against BC. Edmonton 5-9. Over in the East, Hamilton 9-6, Montreal 8-7, Toronto 5-10, Ottawa 4-10. There could be a crossover. There may not be. The Riders and the Elks right now are slugging along to a hockey game score, 1-0 Edmonton late in the first quarter. I think Fajardo just turned the ball over again. Somebody mentioned that.
Harris has thrown 2 interceptions.
Harris. Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor Harris has thrown 2 picks. Wow.
Yeah, he's 6 of 8 for 52 yards, but those 2 non-completions were picks. Or I guess he's 8 of 8, just 2 to the other team.
I think Jeffrey sent us another super chat.
Oh my God.
And now Greg Drossen sends us a super chat. Look at that.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, buddy. That's so nice of you.
And Jeffrey Townend.
Wow.
$20.
It's because
you are incredibly generous. Thank you, Jeffrey. Says, thanks for putting up with me. Well, likewise.
We love
Thanks
you,
for putting up
Jeffrey.
with
Come
us.
on.
Yeah.
You're a happy troll. You're a friendly troll. We like a
Yeah.
troll.
Yeah.
You're never offensive. You're just right on the line. It's perfect. Darrin, just before I do my sayonara rhyme here,
Yeah.
can I just read something from a pregame article that I read today from
Mm-hmm.
Sergio Castillo? Okay. Sergio says, just on where the Bombers are at before this game, they were 7-7 heading into the back end of this season. Look at the past couple of teams we played in the Grey Cup. They peaked at the right time, says Castillo. At the end of the day, you just got to get to the dance. Just invite the girl out to the dance. You dance, and you never know what's going to happen. That right. Shoot. You just got to give yourself a chance. Shout out to Sergio because it rhymed there at the end, but I think it's fair to say the Bombers invited out the girl to the dance. She said yes. They're dancing, and you never know what's going to happen from here, right?
Just go in for
Like,
the kiss, man. Just do it.
the Bombers
Swallow
are
your
the
pride.
guy asking the girl to the dance, and they may get a kiss out of this. They may get another ring here, Darrin. I know I'm getting excited, but I'm blue and gold till I'm dead and cold. And this game got me so jacked. And listen, if this team, who everybody doubted more than ever in this run with 𝘎𝙤𝙤, a team that was under 500, that lost 3 games in a row, that people were saying had lost their franchise quarterback for forever, that Collaros should hang him up, and you see Strebler struggling for three completions last game. This team has turned the ball over more than anybody else. If they have turned the corner here and they can keep this up, they can get to a Grey Cup at home.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the West Division. Maybe they even get a home playoff game, or they go on the road to Montreal and Hamilton. This team can beat anybody. And if
Absolutely
they
doable.
have the Grey Cup in their backyard at Princess Auto Stadium, they have a good chance of winning. That is a home game, folks. I'll be there. DB will be there. Many of you will be there. Can you imagine the mayhem, the madhouse on Matheson in November, 50 days from now, Darrin? And imagine winning that. That will be a historic moment in Winnipeg and Manitoba sports history. And now there's a glimmer, my friend. You could see it on the horizon. It is. You cannot say as a Bombers fan, even a CFL fan, that is pie in the sky. It's right there. Yep. It's right there, buddy.
You just got to go get it. You got to go take it. You go, Schnitzy, says Blue and Goldens. Hey, huge Bombers win. As you said, as we both said kind of throughout the show, this season is far from over. Winnipeg's destiny is in their own hands. Schnitzy, final word to you as we look towards week 18 in the CFL, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the bye. They're back in action Saturday, October 11th. So that means Bluto and I will have Game Day Winnipeg, your pregame show, on Friday, October 10th, live at 3 o'clock. You and I will be back here doing Game Day After Dark after the Bombers Week 19 game in Edmonton on October 11th. And we'll see how this final home stretch goes for the Blue and Gold.
Damn. Well, listen, folks. It is 50 days until the Grey Cup. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers just said, "What's up? Sayonara, everybody."